So it's been a doozy, like a really good doozy over the last couple days of being together with you guys and sharing our time together and passing on wisdom and insights that I hope that you will put into action and see beautiful growth from them. We covered a lot on how to make work light specifically on the first day, how to work smarter, not harder. We looked at some of the have tos versus the coulds and how you can start changing your mindset to create levels of success that you haven't experienced before in all areas of your life, whether it be health, finances, relationships. And today we're going to dive into more specifics around money, why we get stuck, how we get stuck, how to get unstuck and experience more freedom and joy around money. So we'll be looking at some money mindset techniques that I use for reframing and transforming your relationship with money. And then we'll dive into we'll see, one might come before the other. But then we'll dive into redefining what success means for you before you create a roadmap moving forward so that you don't try and achieve success the old way that didn't work, that doesn't work for you anymore, or maybe never worked effectively. Redefining success is so important because if you've been trying to, like I have in the past, if you've been taking it on your shoulders to keep other people happy, and that's one of your main priorities and your aims and makes you feel successful, then we need to change it, right? Just one old definition of something that you don't want to aim for moving forward. So sometimes we also have old definitions of success that we've outgrown. So we're going to look at what do you want now moving forward that would just make you feel super fulfilled and like you're making the impact that you want to, and you're personally feeling settled and like you have more access to be able to maintain joy moving forward no matter what's going on. So I want to walk you through an exercise that I use to help you become more aware of the mindset that could be holding you back and an old blueprint that you may have been operating in when it comes to wealth creation. And then we'll look at what I call future authoring. So it's learning how to take the new truth that you get out of this exercise and then live from that place instead of trying to get to that place or to that version of yourself. So that's a total philosophical point that I'm going to cover, but it's really dynamic and really powerful, and I've used it in my own life, and it's very transformative. So we'll also be looking at future authoring. And then I'll give you some keys to develop your own roadmap today. And I'm going to try and not give you too much, even though I'd love to teach all class long. It's not as effective as if we open up conversation like I have been over the last couple calls and get you to dig in and do the work. We may have to really slow down our process. We'll see how it goes and how much I can cover, but I'll do my best to cover as much as possible. So we're going to walk through an exercise to change your money blueprint and also just gain insight first so you know what you want moving forward. So I want you to write down these three words. I want you to write down see, hear, and experience. And some of you, if we work together already, or if we worked together in the past privately or in groups, I may have done this activity with you, but we are such complex beings, such complex people, and it's helpful to do this exercise again and again because you can notice new beliefs that come up at different levels of income or at different points in your life when you, for example, might be investing a whole ton in a new project and you need to bust through another ceiling. This would be a good exercise to do again. So you can ask yourself, what did I see my either my family or people around me demonstrate through their actions, what was right in regards to making money, or how money should be made, or something you may have picked up about wealthy people just from watching your parents, or from watching people who took care of you if it wasn't your parents, maybe somebody who was really influential in your life who you looked up to. So, for to give you an example, uh, I love shopping at thrift stores still, but I love new clothes too. And I grew up, we had everything that we needed, but not a ton extra. I never felt like we were that much in lack, but most of our shopping was done at thrift stores. And so whenever it's just, it seems like a small example, but it's really important because this is how thoughts and behaviors get stuck in us and we're not even aware why they're there. So I would walk by new clothing stores as a young teenager who's just starting to get interested in fashion. And I would go, oh, man, I'd really love to be able to wear that. And then right away, I would turn the thought off. And I didn't know it, but a second thought would enter my brain, which was, Amy, you already have so much. So if you want more, that means you're being ungrateful. So right away, I would stop allowing myself to want anything more. So in my mind, because we were a thankful family for what we had, if I allowed myself to want more, then that meant I was ungrateful. I couldn't be both. So when that translated into making money, when I thought of making more or wanting to make more, I felt bad. I felt like I wasn't a grateful person then because I wanted more. So you can ask yourself, what did I see that I may have picked up as a habit for myself because that's just something that someone demonstrated to me, or I picked up from society, or maybe the school system, who knows? We can pick it up from anywhere. But something you witnessed because you saw it, and now you just picked it up and didn't know you were living it out. And it's actually impacted how comfortable you feel with money or your views about it. I was talking with someone recently and they were talking about others who, there's a very common theme like, I'll do a lot for you and I'll do a lot for my community, but I could never accept money for it. So there you can dig deeper. And from my experience, the one thing that I see as a possible root, an old money belief that's causing problems there and not allowing money into that person's life, is a judgment around people who allow themselves to accept payment for using their gifts to help others. So it could be people who do that are less noble, or it's not honorable to do that. It's, again, it's bad. Because if you have the gift and you have the time, you should help for free. Otherwise, it means you're this type of person. So hopefully you start seeing judgments come to the surface. So let's move to the second. What did you hear being said about money making? Did you hear your parents or people around you say, making money's hard? Or enjoy it while you can because it's not always here? You could have also seen one more thing, give you an example. One of your parents go away for big chunks of time to make money, and then they were with you, but then they were not, and then they were with you, then they were not. And you could make up a story easily that making money means I won't be able to be present and available for my family, so no thanks. I'll choose present and available and sacrifice the freedom that I'd like to have with more money. Okay, let's look at an overall experience. We've looked at see, hear. Now let's look at experience. So sometimes the seeing and the experience category overlap. One of my clients realized that she wasn't giving herself breaks, and she was working to build her business with such ferociousness and I would say almost like over consistency. Imbalance, right? Not giving herself time to rest, hardly ever. And it stemmed from the most interesting experience. So this is in the third category we're talking about here with developing a new money mindset. She remembered herself sitting at the table and she wasn't allowed to leave until all of her dinner was eaten. And you might think to yourself, what does that have to do with money? But it was a running theme in her dad's life. He came to Canada as an immigrant. Well, they all came to Canada as immigrants. And in order to make a success of himself and do well for the family and provide, there was never any breaks. So her experience sitting there at the table was, I have to ignore that inner voice in me, and I have to ignore my desires if I'm to be a success and financially to really make it. I can't also take care of myself, and I just have to push through and ignore the voice. So anything coming up for any of you in these three categories of old beliefs that you think you may have picked up from your parents about money making that you don't want to carry forward? Want to share it in the chat or out loud? Feel free to unmute.
I can share mine. Mine is like, I grew up where every single quarter I borrowed had to be paid back. It was tracked. So it was, work hard for your money. You're going to have to work hard for your money, and you need to save your money. Save. So, that's what my whole, there's some positives to those messages, right? Work hard, etc. But I think it went too far.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so if you can learn a little bit more about yourself and your habits by tagging onto that sentence, save, because if I don't, what?
I'm going to run out of money.
Right. Okay. So
I won't be able to provide. I won't be able to take care of. I won't have what I need. Those sorts of things. So
then there might be little tag-ons as well, like if I spend money, even if it's for something that might help me grow, it's not safe. Mm-hmm. Or something bad will happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Kim.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anybody else want to share?
Murphy's Law.
Yeah, Murphy's Law, no joke.
Actually, it came into my head yesterday. It's interesting that you mentioned it this morning or this afternoon is the first thing. And when we were talking with Yanni yesterday, it was in my head at the time. But my mother is like the most giving person I've ever known. And she will give you anything of hers. She's always been that way. So it's something I've always seen and personally experienced, obviously. She will do without so that others can have. So it's always set in mind for me that it's the right thing if you have it to give it to others to their benefit. As just an example, it was never a moralistic thing. She never once said anything to me like, no, you should just give this. But that's just what I've seen my whole life, right? She literally would cry if she did something for herself because she felt guilty that she wasn't helping someone else. So that's I can see aspects of why when I look at what I do for others as a coach, it's one of those I hit that moralistic wall of, you know, that example. So no, it's definitely there.
So like it motivates you to not have limits around it, or not, maybe not charge for
Not
it.
charge.
Yeah.
It puts an odd feeling to me when I start it, and I look back like, and I had mentioned this with you, Amy. I know for a fact that my time has been charged to clients in the past at over 500 an hour, and that was years ago. I've got many more years of experience for that from that time. So I have a knowledge that my time has a value in excess. But when I am the one setting that price and talking, then I start falling back into that same mindset of I can help this person, and that's my drive. My drive has never been, oh, I just want to make lots of money. Don't get me wrong, I love nice things, and nice things take money to have, but it's I want to make an impact. I want to help people. So that in combination, I can definitely see causing me to look at a lower rate than what I absolutely know for certain coaches that offer what I do or similar in caliber are charging. So, but I can definitely see where it originates. And it, like I said, I don't think it's a. I had the same thing as Cam. That whole work hard, save your money. That was there. Eat everything on your plate. I grew up with that, and that's definitely a mindset, right? It definitively is around: are you spending your money wisely? Tanya, I'm going to shut up now. You seem to want to say something, so please jump in.
Go ahead, Tanya. Tanya, sorry. One sec. I'll see if I can unmute you.
I'm getting new. There we go. Sorry, I'm pushing the right. I totally relate to what you're saying too. That's why I was getting so eagerly excited. Also, Amy, I think you and I have talked a lot about these sorts of things, and I just had something come up that I hadn't actually had come up before. I know. I was like, what? What is that?
Right.
This is nuts. Money only came if I did something that somebody else wanted me to do.
Yeah.
Money only came if I followed somebody else's agenda. So even to the point where now my mom got an inheritance, she gave my sister a big chunk of money, but she didn't give me any because I don't function in the normal ways, right? So giving money to me would just be a waste of her money. But I started to think all the times when I was a kid, my sister would get all these amazing things, right? But she was following the rules.
Wow.
So fascinating. Hey, sorry guys, just had to go there. Yeah.
That was a great share. Thank you
That's
so
a good
much for
one.
sharing. Anyone else want to share before we move on?
No, I just want to add my thank you.
I do, because I can't believe before you even mentioned it, Amy, as an example of one of your clients, I had written there are starving children in Africa. So that's what I was always told when I didn't want to clear my plate.
Right.
And so I have grown up feeling like I already won the lottery by being born in North America. So why should I want more?
Right.
And then there's in high school, in world studies or something, some line that my teacher said it's a greater crime for a child to be born in North America than a child to be born in Africa because we waste so much. You know, we're you know, anyway. And then thirdly, that the first world problems, I don't know if you guys have heard that. People say, oh, first world problems, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I have since kind of gone backwards in my thinking about that in a good way. They are first world problems. And first world problems are real problems that we need to fix and face and sort out. We can't buy a pound of rice or a bag of rice for $1. We don't have the opportunity to grow our own food. We are constrained by first world limits in terms of how we, anyway, so it was just really interesting. I'd never thought about it before, but I think that a lot of that, that I don't get to have more than my share because I was already born into my share, is where that stems from. So I think it was just, yeah, didn't even think about it till now.
I'm so glad you got the insight. Daria, Song, either of you want to share before we move on?
I could share something that just came to me that was really interesting. I used to go commercial fishing with my dad every summer because my parents split up when I was little. And one summer my dad did really well. And we had an agreement I would get 1%. And but because he did really well, he didn't give me my 1% because it was too much. And I remember still like going like, well, why wouldn't you put it in the bank so it could like make money? And I've never considered this, but I can feel the impact of that. It's like, I don't deserve, like I'm not allowed to have too much. And I definitely feel, yeah, it feels really tender.
Yeah, I know that tender feeling because I have experienced one with parents as well. One belief that came up with parents, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that that's where I picked that up from, and it's been painful for like years, and totally caused bad behavior patterns and stuff. So it's just such like it's so exquisite to gain access to insight that can transform the rest of your life if you decide to take the next steps. So I want to talk about, hey, Daria, I'm not sure if you even have an opportunity to speak, but if you want to, maybe let me know in the chat because I know that.
Hi.
Hey,
It's just a bit chaotic here in my house, as you know.
yeah,
But I'm trying to be here. Yeah, I think I'd like you to move on. It's been great hearing other people, but yeah, you move on with your content and
okay,
yeah, thanks.
sounds good. So I used the exercise. Remember the exercise that I walked Yanni through yesterday, which was understanding the belief that's held you back. So in regards to today, our focus is money. So understanding the belief that holds you back about in regards to money and how it's impacted your life. That I would suggest writing down more about how it's impacted your life because that really motivates you to change. I'm not going to give actual time for that right now, but please make a note to write more about how it's impacted your life. So remember, I walked Yanni through these steps yesterday of understanding what belief she'd picked up that had negatively impacted her life. And then choosing to, so you could say the lie that I believed, right? Choosing to release that. I literally did this today on my bike ride for some personal reasons, a bike ride right before this call. And it's just beautiful how it works. And you can make it a spiritual practice. Well, it's a spiritual practice no matter what spiritual beliefs you have. But you could release it just like into the air, or you could have a conversation with God about it when you do these steps. So you identify the old lie, you release it, and you pick up what you're going to carry moving forward. I once heard the analogy, and then with Yanni, we used the forgiveness tool, right? I heard this analogy of two vessels, like long, long ago. Wine was kept in vessels, and wine obviously can get old, and you don't want to drink old wine. You want to get the new good stuff. And the analogy was that we are a vessel, and our thoughts impact our emotions and fill us with things that are either good and helpful or unhelpful, really detrimental. And a while back, I realized when I was listening to this explanation that I had been unknowingly filling myself with anxiety, I had been filling myself with doubt, fear. And I realized, oh my goodness, I've been doing this. Like, I've been unconsciously thinking these thoughts that have been filling my vessel with like what's turned into really old wine. So before you can pour new wine, before you can carry hope, joy, confidence, expectation, all the feelings you want to be feeling moving forward with, that didn't come out right. You have to empty the old wine. You have to release the doubt, the anxiety, the fear, and look at it for what it really is, which is just lies. Fear is a liar. And then the replacement that will fill you with hope, that will fill you with excitement, energy, confidence, courage, that comes from your new belief, your new thoughts. And it's so refreshing to remember that you have power over this to change your situation. And when it comes to money, to change your financial situation and to change your bank account, to have a healthy savings account and have a healthy spending account, and not just one or the other, to be able to go on trips with your family, right? To be able to charge more and have people pay that gladly. Whatever it is that you, to be able to create a workflow in your office that still honors your need for rest and play and connection with family. It's possible. And it starts by changing your mindset about money. Otherwise, you're operating from one that's old and outdated, like the old wine, that doesn't serve you anymore and keeps you in hustle mode, like grinding to create. Or in your situation, Ray, like you've talked about undercharging or not charging yet what you want, keeps you in a place of low frequency. I don't really like that word. Low operating, where you could be more in alignment and authentic with what you want to be charging. So it impacts us all differently. So let's talk about what it looks like to what your new version of success would look like. And you could start with the new belief you'd like to adopt about money. And then we're going to break down success into compartments, so it's not just one area of your life. So you can write down now, what would I like to believe is possible? Maybe other people believe it's possible or okay or good. What would I like to believe is possible that would help me right now in my financial situation? Don't focus on the how right now. It's like allowing yourself to dream. If you have more to add to that, I'm going to get you to do that in your own time, hopefully sometime later today. You can just block out 15 minutes to review the notes that you took from today and add to them. Because I also want to leave space for creating this roadmap, right? Your roadmap for success. So if you're just focused on one area of success in your life, you won't be fulfilled, right? We're human beings who have multiple needs, and needs for connection, needs for growth and self-actualization and progress. We have needs for impact and helping others. We have needs for staying healthy. So all these areas, right? I would love to hear what some of your definitions of success, maybe just one point that would is like part of your bullseye by the end of this year, that would be so thrilling that it almost feels impossible. And remember, we're not talking about the how right now. Daria, I saw your comment and I'll read it in just a sec. I want you to share with me, if you'd like, one aspect of your bullseye of success that you'd like to hit in that bullseye. I mean, that you'd like to live and be your reality, that feels impossible right now, but who knows, could somehow be possible. And Daria, I just want to read this. Okay. Can I share that out loud, Daria?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Daria said she'd like to feel more confident in her financial decisions, stop second guessing herself, as she has two very opposite perspectives. Her parents were very conservative in their approach to finances, and her husband's more liberal. So then you're deciding for yourself. Thanks for sharing. You're deciding for yourself where you stand, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Anyone want to share about your picture of success? Might be you want to share something about your play that would personally fulfill you, or maybe a habit you want to develop, or a financial outcome, maybe a new way.
I can share.
Sure.
I'm just gonna shift. I'm gonna say that I would love to be able to do what I love to do, that just comes so naturally to me, and it's very play-based, and like it's so easy for me. I'm so full in joy, and I'd love to be able to travel with it. And I'd love to be able to see myself be able to travel the world doing what I love to do. So, and make money doing it.
Fun.
Yeah.
So would you travel? And I heard you say you wanted to develop a new business model so that it's not just one-to-one.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I'm already doing that, but that's the way to scale. I mean, unless I'm going to like charge, exorbitant, I can't say that word, large amounts of money to one person. Like that's the way. And it's not even just about money. I just know the power of community. I know the power of working in groups. So that's another reason why. And it's everything that I did. Like I've got 25 years in the fitness industry. So I'm used to being in front of big, large rooms of people. So it's just a gift of mine. So that's why another reason why I want to scale with the business.
So you said be in front. Would you also be speaking? What's part of that?
Yeah. Speaking, coaching, moving, dancing. Yeah. Connecting people, vulnerability, all of it.
Cool. Sounds great. And is possible.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Yeah. Anyone else? What's your version of success or part of it?
Just really excited how excited Kim is about what she's doing and wanting to do. The energy is bubbling out of her, and I think it's awesome. And there's crickets. So stepping into the cricket zone, I'll say, I have all the happiness I can get when I coach. I'm in cloud nine. So for me, it's a zone of joy. And one of the areas I really want to, and it kind of touches on Kim, is one of the areas that I don't get to do as much now as I did when I was working in other organizations, is doing leadership training, communication training, things to help new leaders become better. I'm exceedingly passionate about that, and I have a gift for it. It feels really weird to spout your own thing. Maybe it's too humble or whatever, but I I'm a public speaker by nature. Getting up on a stage in front of 150 people and helping them to figure things out is my happy place. I absolutely love it. And I've gotten nothing but rave reviews when I've done these. So I want to get away from where I'm at, which is not doing them because it's not part of an organizational process or program. And it's my own that I'm taking. I just, yeah. As I said to Amy before, and so everybody else knows, I hate reinventing wheels. I'm coming at this from the outside, looking at it as how do I do this? I know there are methods. I know there are processes. I don't want to go try and reinvent how to do all this. So that's one of my big block points right now is I know from just my own personal self, if I have to reinvent a wheel, I'm going to fight it tooth and nail. So.
Well, it's exciting to hear about your vision, and I want to give you a reframe around, well, maybe I'll save this. What's our time? No, I'm going to share with you right now a reframe around tooting your own horn, because it can feel really weird and uncomfortable, is if you don't, you're holding back vital information that could help others. So you could look at it, good way to motivate yourself, possibly, this works for me, is it's selfish when I don't. It's selfish not to share. And obviously there's graceful
ways to do it.
Ways to do it, yeah.
And Amy, I had a note, I think it was from yesterday, it may have been from the day before, where it was very similar to what you just said, was you need to realize that you do need to help people understand what you can bring to the table for them. Mm-hmm. How you can help them, what is there. And if you're not doing it, who's going to, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously your clients, I mean, all of my referral clients have been singing my praises, but no, so very, very, very good reframing. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Anyone else want to share what's a part of your picture of success? And then we'll talk about some how-tos that will help you. I'm going to give you a quick example. I was on the beach in Tofino last year, and I thought, I just want to speak as much as possible next year in 2023. And then I walked a few steps further and I thought, that's kind of vague and not very inspiring. What would you really like, Amy? Well, I'd really like to speak all over Canada in every province in 2023. And I was like, okay, I'm pumped. So it's important when you, and that's happening, which is so freaking cool. I've spoken for 10 years now. So all you speakers in the group, you know how excited I am. What I want to say about that, it's important that you choose a goal that feels impossible, because psychologically speaking, there's research that proves we're going to get in the game, we're going to get dirty, and we're going to see what's possible when it feels more exciting and fun. And we're not just doing like 2 times the effort, we're 10 timesing our focus on something specific and like incredibly cool and incredibly cool for us and incredibly cool for the outcome others get if we were to hit that mark. Really gets you in the game. So anyone else, what's a part of your definition of success? No, I'm not saying we all need to share. Christy.
I think for me, I had a few, but this one, I want the means to live an unconventional life.
Awesome.
So yeah, I think that's all it needs to say.
Mm-hmm. And then start mapping out what are all those unconventional pieces, right? And how much means would you need to do that? And not just the, I'd like enough to do that, because there was someone who came on a retreat with me and she said, oh my goodness, I've just had a breakthrough. I may have walked them through an exercise similar to this. I can't remember what we were working on, but she said, I have made the same income for 4 years in a row, to about $100 to $200 difference, that close every year. And she's self-employed. And I realize now why I have that pattern, and it's been so hard to break. I told myself that I'm happy with just enough. And that's all she got. I just want enough. And that's not actually what we want. That keeps us living tight, like really tight, where there's not a lot for fun and blah, 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 blah. All the extras, the nicer things in life. Okay. So let's look at a few hows. And they're mainly questions for you to stimulate yourself and access creative solutions for yourself. And so let's start with this. Who can I help in a way? So whether you're self-employed or not, this will apply to you. Who can I help in a way that honors my needs instead of the old way that maybe doesn't honor my needs or desires? So there's kind of two parts to the question. It's the who. Who is it that I'm most wanting to help? And maybe, Daria, for you, it's less patience. I'm not sure. But who is it that I want to help? And what's the new way that I want to operate my business in, that I want my work to flow in, that would honor my needs too? So you need to ask yourself, what are my needs that are not being met right now? And how financially could I change my workflow or my business model to be able to honor both the financial desires that I have and my personal needs for rest, connection, play, all those good things? And once you get one answer, so this isn't for you to really try and find answers right now, but once you get that one answer, then ask yourself, awesome, and what's another one? What's another way to think about that? And peel back the onion. Again, do that as many times as possible to flush out the creative solutions. Okay, 1 second. Okay, how could the process of making the money I want in the way that I want it be easier? That's another question. So for example, do I need to have a conversation with someone? Who would that be? Like that one, Ray? Focus on making meaning versus managing your time. This was a total brain explosion for me. Instead of thinking, I'm going to need 5 hours for that, what if you gave yourself an hour? It's amazing how much you can accomplish when you start thinking differently about time versus the value that you want to create or the meaning that you want to create. It can be done much more quickly than you think. And we can talk about that more if you want to book a call with me. So, which of my skill sets right now is begging to be used more of, and which one is begging to be used less of? So Daria knows that I work with doctors as well, and Daria is a doctor. And so sometimes when I'm working with physicians, where I'll go with this question is, okay, so you want to do less obstetrics and you want to do more, you've decided you want to do more hospital work. Which one is lighting your fire right now? Which skill set wants to be used right now? And for those of you who are not in the medical field, like Ray, you were talking about wanting to speak and train more. That one's really calling for your attention right now. So it's likely tied to income. Well, obviously it is, we know that, but the skills that you want to use will also produce more income, which is part of your success plan. Christy, I know that for you. Like, it's just I'm so excited for you to step into this, into your success. Christy hasn't shared part of her dream, and I'm not going to, but she's got a really cool dream. and she's totally equipped for it. So another question, is there someone who could connect me to the right person? Maybe for you to collaborate with, maybe for you to get funding from, to make a project happen, move it forward. Maybe they're the right person to hire you. Maybe they're in HR. Maybe the conversation is with your spouse. And instead of asking for permission, you start communicating your feelings. So for those of you who are self-employed, you can ask this question. And also for those of you who are not, I'm going to rephrase it. So what problem will I solve for these people that keep them up at night? And for those of you who, you can ask yourself this, if you are not an entrepreneur, you can ask yourself, what problem could I solve in a different way by not doing it all myself, or doing it all the same way I have been doing it for years, just because it's what I know? So what problem could I solve in a better way? Like Daria, what problem that my patients are facing right now could I solve in a way that would pay me well, but actually free up more of my time and energy? Remember, when I'm going to close with this, and then I'm going to give those of you an opportunity who would like to explore working with me. I'm going to share with you what I'm offering moving forward. But before I do that, I want to give you this really important reminder that someday will never come. It's really important for you to pursue your dreams now, because there's so many people I've spoken with in my career that, someone I was speaking with recently in the UK was talking about how she was totally avoiding her body's signs of burnout, and she had a stroke, and she wanted to take her laptop to the emergency room with her, because she was so used to her old ways that she thought, well, I've got meetings coming up and I have to prepare for this and that, and maybe it's not a stroke. And then a couple of days later, she had another stroke, and horrible things started happening with her health. So we can't wait for someday, because we don't know what's going to happen. And I didn't share that story with you to scare you, just to give you a different side of reality of what can happen. We can lose loved ones. We can miss out on opportunities. And I don't want you to, and I don't want myself either, to regret not doing what I wanted to do with my life. And you have a profound opportunity right now with your lives to be able to fully enjoy yourselves and grow and make the impact that you want. So when it comes to money, what's really helped me is remembering to not have my focus on my income goals, which seems counterproductive or counterintuitive, but to have my focus, and for myself, because I'm a spiritual person, to have my focus on God first and serving others. So if you believe in God or not, make sure that you are focusing on service over profit, and the profit will naturally flow. I've gotten like two little ditties here: people over profit. It's an easy way to remember it. Or service before reward. If you are feeling like, I really need more money, then you will stink of neediness. It's really unattractive. But if you come from, remember I was talking about future authoring. If you come from a new belief and a new, and this is something I'm going to teach in my program, a new identity of I have more than enough. I am resourceful. I have like abundance is in my blood. Different identity shifts. If you come from that feeling of peace and already having what it is that you desire, then you'll never come off as needy, and you'll be filled with courage, and you'll be focused with a generous spirit on solving the problems of your other brothers and sisters, all the other people in the world that need your help. And what a refreshing way to live, from a place of abundance, entering into service, giving so much. Then it becomes quite natural to allow yourself to start receiving, because you're already giving so much, right? So, any questions about today's topic before I share with you? And don't feel the need, you don't have to feel the need to stay on the call after this. If you wanted to come and you just wanted to sign up for this training and access my support in exchange for the book, that is totally fine. But for those of you who would like to hear more about the program I'm offering, and it's also a challenge, it's going to be fun, then you can stay on after the Q&A and I will answer your questions. And there's going to be a bonus call this week to give you more time to ask me questions about the program if you'd like to have more info. So anyways, questions more so about today, mindset reprogramming, what you're starting to see as possible for yourself with your new vision of what success looks like for you. What's coming up for you? What insight was most helpful today? Or question?
Easy peasy. The insight about me being selfish by not telling them about me, tooting my own horn, as it were. That's a great shift of paradigm.
Glad it was helpful. And thank you for showing up every day, Ray.
Of course.
I know it wasn't possible for everyone, but it's really great. If you're not able to share because it's noisy, you can feel free to put it in the chat too.
I think mine was honestly the trajectory of the children are starving in Africa piece. Seems so simple, but it was literally drilled in my brain by more than just my family. So if I was eating at someone else's house, and it seems so simple, but I think it had a profound impact on how I viewed where I fit and how much I could ask for. So yeah.
Almost like, if I was to sum it up, like you already have so much, don't ask for more. Don't ask for more than your piece of the pie.
Yeah, which you know.
Yeah.
And also in the finish what's on your plate, it is basically don't listen to your own needs, but consume, or, to the point of not feeling right or well, or, live through the pain, even if I hated. Yeah. Like there's just so many layers to it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to think about. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, if it's okay,
Yeah.
that came up for me was, again, those insights like everybody's having, that we've all kind of experienced the same kind of ones, but also the place where you start stepping out into those places and calling in those things, or asking for them, or showing up in a different way. The responses from the other people in your life, right? How they're kind of angry or put off or whatever, and it's challenging to navigate, right? To watch what's unfolding, and you so deeply want to keep them a part of your life, but you have to keep walking. Like you have to keep going. And it's just that, again, they're angry at themselves, just like I've been angry at myself. for not taking those. Like, it seems like it's at you for whatever reason. But what I notice in my life is when I'm mad, I'm usually a little angry at myself in the places where I didn't step forward, or the places that I didn't act where I really deeply wanted to. Yeah, that's my little share.
Thank you.
Mm.
It's quite a big one. Thanks.
Mhm.
Mm. I so hear you, Tanya.
Mm.
What I just got really connected into, Amy, when you were sharing, I am abundant, I am resourced, is what I've been feeling a lot is that I am abundant, I am resourced, and I have a lot to share. And it's really using that passion to share the knowledge that I do have, knowing that it is valuable and there's a lot of people that can benefit from it. So it also is great to keep coming back to that. I am selfish when I withhold.
And I wanted to add to that I feel kind of like a counselor, but I'm not. I'm Amy, so I'm just showing up as Amy. That you are worthy of that money that your dad didn't give you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And worthy of the big, like, cha-ching, like, we won the lottery this year at fishing. You're worthy of the good chunk of it.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
All right. I know Daria's got like a ton of boys at her home right now. Sometimes best to stay silent. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. The last 3 days have been fantastic for me. It's been so fun and just fills me with energy to give, to teach, to share, to prepare for you all. And I hope that it's really been transformational for you and will help you see things in a different light and help you by equipping you with ideas for how you can act differently moving forward and create the future that you desire with a new belief about yourself. Not only what you're capable of, but how you can change as a person and as a leader and why people need you to change. And that really motivates me to step into areas of uncertainty in my own life and lead through the fog. So it's exciting, the future that's in front of each of you. And I'm so flattered and thankful to have met some of you for the first time and to have you on the call today and for you to join from other parts of the world on your vacations, Christy and Yanni. So again, I feel thankful and very grateful. And I'm going to share for those of you who need to leave or have other plans, feel free to hop off. For those of you who want to stay on, I'm going to start sharing with you about what the program entails, when it starts, and all the goodies. So no offense if you fall off while I'm talking and sharing. So for those of you who want to take this deeper and you want more community support as well as my support and mentorship, I'm going to be offering a 6-week program coming up. And we're going to start, I believe it's the last week of March, we're going to start. And we're going to meet as a group every week for 60-minute calls. And you'll get access to my online program, which I have started to create. And over each week, you'll get a new module dropped into the private platform that you'll get access to. So the whole focus of the program is to help you refresh the way that you work. So instead of making money and creating success and personal fulfillment the way that you thought you had to, I want to give you a whole new model. So some of the things you can expect are helping you gain and maintain new levels of peace of mind while you do this, while you do things that are scary, while you do things that you've never done before, while you take on a big challenge. And over the 6 weeks, we're going to dive deeper into what does it look like over the next 6 weeks to create success for myself, and what feels like an impossible goal, even just over 6 weeks, so that you really dive into creating something fun. And then there's going to be a surprise for a certain number of people at the end. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So another aspect of the program, I want to teach you how to free up your time more while you're taking on something bigger. So while you're expanding or changing your business model, or while you're mapping out your new business, or while you're learning how to balance more, because sometimes it can feel like you're taking on more, how to do that and free up your time at the same time, so that you're taking care of yourself and you're available for your kids or your spouse. And then I want to teach you some steps to help you distinguish yourself and communicate online as well as in person, so that you stand out in your field, because there's really no one like you. But if we don't know how to communicate that, then we can't stand out effectively. And then I want to help you create strategies that are unique just for you, like not the whole group, but strategies that you can use to create a unique way for you to do the work that you want and really enjoy it. And, that's not hard for some of us. We already know how to do that. But for some of you, maybe you haven't figured out that yet. And there's this next layer of fulfillment that you've been desiring. So I want to show you how you can tap into joy in your work, even in the work that is more mundane, that you'd rather not do and has to be done in order to set yourself up, how to enjoy that too, or how to at least accept it and get into it and create some consistent habits. So at the end of the program, my goal is to help you master the art of relaxing and master the art of including more play and including more being present with the people in your life, while you're uber present and focused in creating this new outcome, this new level of success for yourself over the 6 weeks we spend together. And I want to help you start making more mistakes. I want to help you start jumping before you're ready, and putting yourself out there and having conversations that are uncomfortable. And when we're talking about that, it could look like conversations with potential clients or people that might hire you, that might get you on the stage. How do you pitch yourself to them? I want to share with you scripts to be able to do that. As far as Christy's dream, having uncomfortable conversations that might make you sweat. And how do you do that? Those conversations that need to happen with people. How do you do that and feel authentic and more confident when you're stepping out of your comfort zone? Not like you're trying to follow how somebody else would do it, but what would be true to me. And part of the program is about setting boundaries. So the boundaries I want to teach you how to set will definitely boost your productivity. They will help you zone in and use your time for those top priorities that you'll map out together with me, that are part of your vision of success. So without the boundaries, then we just give away everything. We're available all the time for people. And we never consider, like you were talking about, Christy, we never consider what we want, what we'd prefer, what we'd like. Boundaries really help. Again, back to communication. I want to share with you how to communicate those boundaries in a way that's very clear and direct, but also considerate and kind. I was talking with Ray earlier about communicating in a way that shows someone you're the person that they've been looking for, because you've decided to be courageous and really own the things you're good at and not hold back. So how do you do that? I want to share with you how you can do that as well. So there's a big component is communication strategies and scripts, boundary setting, doing that in a way that is true to you and honors all your needs, as well as considerate with others. I want to teach you how to have sales conversations, how to map out what you want to make and how you can serve others. So it's like you're creating a roadmap for your financial future, or you could say it's like you're creating a menu of your offerings. And this is applicable to anyone in any field. It's different income streams that bring you that flexibility of location or flexibility of time, so that you can fully be off with your family or your friends and not be thinking that you have to be working if you want to be fully off. So because different income streams are coming in, I want to show you how you can map out different ways for money to be coming in instead of just relying on one thing. And then when that doesn't happen, you feel like really big financial impact. I don't want you to be in that situation. So anything else I want to share with you? Obviously, there will be a big mindset component. I want to teach you more steps and help you walk you through. We've only had 3 days together. There's no way I can cover everything that I train on. So I would like to teach you these mindset techniques that I use in my own life and with clients to be able to catch a thought, notice it, retrain, decide if you want to keep it or not, retrain yourself. Practical steps that I use in my life to do that, so that I'm believing a new truth and it becomes the cement in my life, and it's the old is gone, the new's come and the old's gone, and I'm a new person moving forward. There's a lot of inner work and then there's practical work. So all of that I'm going to be delivering to you in a self-paced program, and you'll get that dropped to you every week. We'll discuss the topics as well as have live coaching opportunities every week for 6 weeks on the group calls. And for those of you who have signed up for this masterclass series, today's day 3, I'm offering special pricing for it. So there's different options. You can just get the self-paced program. You can get self-paced program plus group work together, or you can do private work with me to put into action everything that I've just shared with you. And if you'd like to talk with me about it, I invite you to just pop your name in the chat and we'll book an appointment for us to talk about options. Tanya's already in because she is working with me privately. My private clients get access to everything I create, which is really great. So she's part of the program already. And excuse me, I believe another client of mine in the UK will be joining us because she's been waiting for me to, I've been getting ready to offer this group component. So just to give you an idea of who's already involved. Yeah, so I have some time that I've blocked out this week for appointments. If you'd like to talk about this opportunity and you definitely are interested, I recommend you reach out right away to get a time that suits your schedule best. And I'm happy to talk about details with you. Okay, Christy, you're in, my friend. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. Such a pleasure, such an honor to be with you all in such really cool locations, really cool dreams that you all have, cool things that you're already up to in the world. It's just, again, an honor to be sharing time and space with you, and I really appreciate it. Om Sang, I got your message. Thanks. Anything you want to celebrate as we wrap up before I stop and say adios?
I just want to say thank you to everybody. It has been such a pleasure to get to know you, and I feel quite connected, and I really hope I get to see your faces again, because I have very much enjoyed these last 3 days and your input and your vulnerability. So I just really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for showing up all 3 days, Christy. And thank you for your vulnerability too.
I will share too, Amy. Thank you so much for these 3 calls. They've been wonderful. I've taken away so much, and I've really allowed the time of being like, I don't know any of you, and this is like, I feel so connected, and I just think that that's the power of us showing up authentically as ourselves, and really that speaks to us, I think, as humans. So I just want to rah us people, because I feel this from all of you. So thank you.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I feel it too. Thanks so much for coming and for listening to your gut when you saw Christine's post. I'm so happy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I would say thank you, everybody. It's been amazing. As I said, I've been here all 3 days. Yanni yesterday was fantastic. She was so open and there, and I've learned a lot. As a coach, I tell my clients I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, so your past is not as important to me as your future. But the simple fact is, today you've brought up several things that, looking into the past, can be very assistant toward understanding at least why certain things happen. So it's very eye-opening for me as well to see that I don't usually go into the past or delve into the past. So it's nice to see there's differences in how people coach. It's amazing. I mean, intellectually I know it, but it's great to see. Yeah, it's been 3 days of little gold nuggets dropping out, so I'm exceedingly happy. And I think I didn't put my name down there because we've already chatted. So I'm almost certainly going to see you all in the 6-week course.
Fabulous. What I wanted to see is a picture that I just got. My son just got here, got home. Not that you needed to know that, but I just saw him walk by. Bird, squirrel. When you were talking about gold nuggets, Ray, I saw a scene from the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I don't know if you've seen that, but I think it's when he has to hide from a thunder shower of jelly beans, I think. And I saw like tons of gold nuggets falling from the sky. That was great.
Awesome.
Okay. So I'll be in touch with you, Sung and Christy. And yeah, such a pleasure. Thanks so much, everyone.
So great. Have a
Talk to
great
you
day.
soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.